Welcome. It's the Sarah Butler at Home podcast. It's David over here. It's Sarah over
Hello.
there.
All the way over here?
You're a bit low. I'm going to have to talk to you a bit louder.
Okay.
You think with all your experience now that you'd know
No, what?
that you have to be closer to the microphone.
Yeah, but I don't want to have my squeaky voice.
Your-
Too squeaky.
My squeaky
Can you
voice.
unsqueak my voice?
Oh, yeah, we can work miracles here at the podcast
Filter
towers.
my voice.
I was looking. It's probably October.
Was it? Well, that's not too bad.
It's not great.
We thought we'd get Christmas, but it was just very
Just
busy.
It was chaos. And actually, I can tell our dear listener that today, recording this, it is the middle of January, and you brought me a Christmas present.
I did.
I haven't opened it now, and
Yeah.
I will open it after the podcast.
It's been wrapped and everything, and I
Yeah.
was so organised, and I had bought it plenty of time, and it's been in the sitting room in its bag since.
Nah.
And it's been in my car for the past week.
It's gone. It's been all over the country.
it
This
has.
little bag.
there you go.
So if there's another podcast after this, you'll know that it was a good present.
Yeah.
And if there's not another podcast, you know
Exactly.
it was a bad present. And we're a bit excited today because it might be the middle of January, and lots of people are on dry January. Do you do any New Year's resolutions, anything like that?
I like to take things up as opposed to give things up.
Okay.
So I'm going to take up audiobooks. More audiobooks.
Listening to audiobooks.
I can't read a book because it makes me tired. So I'll stick an old audiobook on and I'll put my earphones in when I'm cooking or cleaning. It's great because it cancels out the sound of annoying kids and husbands and things like that. And
External
cats
noises
meowing
disappear.
looking for food. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's a great way to get through. But apparently, Barbara Streisand's one. Have you heard about Barbara Streisand's one? Barbara Streisand's autobiography, her audiobook of it is now, I'm prone to exaggeration, but I think it's 48 hours long.
Wow.
And what people say is, because when an audiobook for that is, they actually read the book
Does
themselves.
she read it herself?
She does. But when she does the audiobook, apparently, so she might say, I turned down the road and I met
David Cawley.
David Cawley, and that reminds me about David Cawley. So in the audiobook, she goes off on tangents
Oh, she's additional information.
that she hasn't put into the. So people say it's a fabulous one, but 48 hours.
That's a long time.
It's a lot of talking. It's a lot of talking. But you can get some great audiobooks out there. What would be your audiobook of choice?
The audiobooks that I listen to are more like self-help ones, right now I'm learning 99 tricks to talk to anybody.
Oh,
you know,
that's
those kind
great.
of ones. You know, there's like 21 books that you should read in your life, and they're all these kind of ones that I suppose make you a better person socially and that kind of thing.
I was looking at it was a long time ago, probably podcast 21. You were talking about The Secret.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I started following The Secret on my socials.
Hmm.
And every now and then, random, it just comes up with something.
Yeah.
And you are how you think, so think good and stuff. And I go, oh,
Yeah, you're a good reader though. You have lots of books. You read.
not anymore. I'm not
You know,
really.
they're
not
just
really.
there for show to look intelligent.
Yeah. I read when I'm on holidays.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Because I like that. But my mind instantly, if I pick up a book this evening, instantly starts wandering off.
Yeah, it's awful hard to get the focus.
Yeah, and then I've read 2 pages and I go, oh, what was on that page? It's a bit like when I was doing the Leaving Cert or Junior
It's a
Cert.
bit like when you're in school and you're reading going, that's not gone in.
No,
I used
I-
to have to write everything down.
Yeah, not a clue. So my mind is a busy mind. So it's, maybe when I'm on holidays and I can stop for a little while, then I can concentrate on a book. But otherwise, no, I haven't.
And New Year's resolution?
I don't do New Year's resolutions because I believe, people say New Year, New You. I think New Year, same you.
Yeah,
You're going to be doing the
exactly.
same
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. It's a
And
lot of pressure on people.
It is a lot of pressure, yeah. So I genuinely, because a couple of things I've done in the past, which I've just randomly started, and during the year, then you're not under pressure.
You're not under as much pressure.
Now, I did give up the cigarettes at the New Year originally, 20 years ago. I gave up the cigarettes. That was on a New Year. But apart from that, no. I think that the New Year's resolution is a bit of a disaster. And it just puts extra pressure that people don't need at the beginning of the year.
Absolutely. And as you said, dry January, a lot are doing, but we're not. 'Cause
Load of
we're going
shit.
to the pub
Yeah, we'll
after
go to
this.
the pub. Because it's nice and quiet.
Yeah.
Because everybody's on dry January.
Yeah,
And there's
so-
absolutely no crack. There's nothing on telly. It's short nights. This is the time to go out and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, so we're heading for a few pints after the podcast.
Yeah, because we've got lots to celebrate.
Have we?
Yeah, we've got lots to celebrate. Loads has happened since the last time we chatted.
Goldfish here in the corner, right? What day is it? Oh my God, I spent the entire Tuesday this week 100% convinced it was one day, like.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that regularly on where I get up on a Wednesday and think it's Thursday.
Oh gosh, I'm mithered most of the time. I don't know
Yeah.
what day it
But
is.
that's because your Mondays have become very exciting.
Maybe that's why actually. I was in Dublin on Monday, so it kind of cancelled out a full day.
So, dear listener, just in case you don't know, and I'm sure they probably do know, Sarah started a new adventure, which is talking to people on the radio on a Monday on News Talk Radio just after 12:30 about food. Am I right?
So it's the lunchtime show with Andrew Gilligan, and it's all about batch cooking and helping people. Like kind of what I do already on Instagram, but on the radio. So I go up to Andrea and we have a little taste of something that I've made and talk about it.
Andrea gets to taste something.
She does,
Sorry,
yeah.
go on, keep going.
I actually had great intentions.
You
of making
did.
you
That's
something.
again, listener, listen to every podcast. Great intentions.
You shut up now, or that Christmas present is coming home with me.
But go on.
So we have maybe 10 or 15 minutes and we'll chat about food and batch cooking and tips and things like that. So yeah, it's lots of fun, really enjoyable.
So tell me about the experience now, because you're going up to, because that's in Marconi House, I think, so there's lots of radio stations in there.
Yeah. So we headed up and you know me, I'm like, I haven't a notion what I'm doing or where I'm going or how it's going to go. So
You did text me and she says, as long as I don't use the C word.
Yeah, that's always my biggest worry, because like people,
it could slip out.
It's funny when people, friends of mine, you know, they might be talking or they might be in a picture with me. I know one good close friend, and a school gate mother or father said, "Oh my God, do you know her?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, we're great friends." And she's like, she's really, you know, lovely or whatever. Because I am, you know.
Yeah, lovely person.
And he was just like, "Oh my God, she's a out like a sailor." Like,
yeah.
I really do. I don't know how I can filter it. So that was my biggest worry, was that I didn't say anything. But I didn't.
So, the lovely, warm, nice studio.
Lovely. I didn't know what to expect. So I went in and there was a doorman and he had to let me into the lift, and off I went. And I went in one door in the lift, and then the door behind me opened, and then it was like a big, huge office space with loads
Reception
of desks.
area.
There
People
were all
busy,
these people
newsing
busy.
and talking. And they're more newsing and talking.
And logos of News Talk everywhere. So then Pat Kenny just like rocks across.
How you doing?
And I'm like, oh, for God's sake, this is pure mental. Yeah. And your man Moncrief was there on a computer.
Excellent broadcaster.
Yeah. So I had my little bag of tricks with me and went off in, and I had quiche and brown bread. And Andrea came out and we were chatting. I would have kind of crossed paths with her, but never spoke to her on Ireland AM when I used to cook there. She was on after me. So she'd be waiting, and maybe that's because she had suggested me to the producers, which was great. So it's funny how one thing will lead to another. So yeah, went in, real cool studio, real funky and bright and like white, and the logo lit up, and a cool kind of, the table was like a big square. And we were, also videoed as I was heading down. Like,
she said big square, and yet she made a circle with her hand.
A big square desk, like you could jump into the middle of it and do a dance if you wanted. And as I was heading down, the producer was like, "Oh, we're also filmed. Is that okay? You're going to be filmed." I don't know where this was been broadcasted. I was like, "Thank God I wore makeup today."
It was on their socials, yeah.
And I didn't come up in my.
That's why their studios are very bright.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they should put up little clips and stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, but there was always that. Like, she was so professional. She was like, "Sorry now if I'm talking away." She was talking to me, and then she was talking to the producer, and then she was checking with the guy outside, and 20 seconds, and I was like, and 10 seconds, you know, that countdown. I was like, oh Jesus.
Yeah.
And then you're live, and you just can't think about it. You're like, I'm just talking to her. You always said that to me. Just pretend it's just two of you talking.
Yeah.
But she was very, very nice and made it so easy.
My simple rule is very easy, particularly when it comes to radio, because radio is very one-to-one. It's very personal, much like a podcast is. So, people aren't all sitting in a room listening to us now. They're probably got headphones in.
Out for a walk.
They're out for a walk, or they're in the car, they're going for a drive, they're making their dinner, they're doing something like that. So it's a very personal thing. And what I used to do on radio terms was picture somebody, the other side, and say, if I'm not making sense to them, and then I'm not making sense to anybody.
Yes.
So you pick somebody that maybe would be going, what? Who? What? And then it would force you to slow yourself down to speak more. And even though I speak at 100 miles an hour on the radio,
that's something I'm like, you need to slow down. You're talking really quickly.
They always say to you, if you think you're speaking too fast or too slow, you're probably speaking at the right speed.
Oh, really?
For radio, yeah. So if you think that you're just going a little bit too slow for radio, you're probably where they need you to be.
No.
But I always go, but then I can't say all the things I want to say.
Yeah,
before the song starts.
Yeah, you're on a time frame.
Yeah, because somebody said to me the last day, I had started a song, and I talked about a piece that I had read about, there was a survey in 2012 where it said only 8 out of 10 men change their underwear every day.
What?
So I read that, and instantly my mind goes into, I've lots of things to say about that, but the song had started.
Okay.
So I go, lads, will you just change your jocks for God's sake? And then I was thinking, like, how could they do it? So Monday they'd wear them frontwards, Tuesday they'd wear them
stop
backwards, Wednesday they'd turn them inside out. They get a week out of that, but you have to do it before so I'm like rushing it like a racehorse to get it in before the song starts. I think it's a fabulous adventure.
That's cool. So yeah, it's like we'll see how it goes. Don't really know how long it's going to go for, but sure.
25 years on radio, always trying to get to the top. Not jealous at all. The fact that you waltz in there to a national station and take over, and I go, what about me?
David left me locked in a room, and he'll be heading for Dublin with a blonde wig on and a quiche. Yes, I'm Sarah, and I'm here.
I think I was affected. You know, the first time I ever went for a radio interview, it was for a job. I went for the interview. It was around Christmas. I'll never forget it because I got the train to the place and then I couldn't drive, so Jane collected me on the way back. And I went in for the interview for a job.
Yeah.
And the guy says to me, yeah, I've had to listen to your tape, and to be honest with you, I think you got like kind of some kind of a speech problem.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I went, really? And he said, yeah, I don't think you're pronouncing your words right.
Are you
so you might
serious?
need to go away. And I was like, I might need to go away.
Oh my God.
So,
that's awful.
Oh, it's horrendous. That knocked me for
I bet.
1,000. So I went home in the car, and it's funny because now that particular radio station use my voice for radio ads all the time.
That's mad.
I might get 5 or 6 requests every week from them to use my voice for ads.
That's crazy.
And I will do them with delight, as long as that bastard.
Is he still on the go?
I don't think he's well gone from there. But he was he became my mission in the end. So I will get to News Talk someday.
You come with me
Dressed
on
up
Monday
as
if you
you.
want.
Yeah, just sit
Come
beside
with me,
you
you
going,
can be my driver.
hello, Mike, you're a bollocks. I don't know if his name was Mike. I can't remember. Hello, Mike, just want to say you're a bollocks. And here I am now with me speech impediment. Let's talk about food.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, congratulations. I'm very
thanks.
excited for you. And I'm not one bit jealous.
Let's not get too excited.
I have
Turn around
told-
after 2 weeks and say, actually, Sarah, it's not really working out. We're
Yeah,
getting
there's
someone
something
else
wrong
in."
with your voice. It's really squeaky. There's like animals going wild. But I've always told you, and I told you on this platform, and I'll tell you on every platform, I think these are just stepping stones because you're just home. And I'm hanging
stop
on.
it. We
I'm
need to do
hanging
this
on.
every week.
I'm hanging on at the bottom. Just going, bring me with you.
Come along for the ride.
Let's talk soup.
Let's talk soup. So it's soup season.
Yeah. So here we are,
It's
New Year.
So cold.
Yeah,
I think
cold.
it's the coldness that makes people want soup, not the health benefits of it. Because it's so cold, you can't beat. And it's so easy to make a soup quickly. Like, obviously, a Guinness stew or a lovely casserole is lovely too, but that takes a long time. Soup is the quickest belly warmer in this weather.
Now, lots of people who listen to this, and me,
Yeah.
grew up with the packaged soup.
Yeah.
We grew up with stir that, right? Keep stirring it.
Yeah.
And the
Remember
powdery.
The little bits of peas. Would be
Yeah,
like
they were
shriveled.
dehydrated, and you'd have
Yeah.
to hydrate them again.
It was lovely though. I remember that. I used to love that. 4-day walks used to have it, and it was nice to see. Except if there was a pocket that didn't get, and there was like a little bit of flour.
Dry dust, yeah.
Yeah, dry dust.
And then if you look now, these days, you look at the package now and you look at the salt, you go,
Stop it. Sure, you don't have to worry about them things when you're young, but as you get older, unfortunately, you do. And now, I suppose, now you really do, because there's all sorts of crazy
I
things.
thought you were looking at me. I thought you were now you really need to.
Oh, no.
I've seen how you failed. So we're talking soup. So your basic soup. So when going for a basic vegetable soup, what would you do?
The biggest problem people have with soup is they add way too many vegetables. And that's what I've got from the feedback, my vegetable soup recipe that's on my page. It's like 1 carrot, a small potato, a leek or an onion. If you have a bit of broccoli and a little bit of red pepper is always nice in there. So there's very little actual vegetables, but it's the amount of stock that you're adding in on top. Because someone blitz it and go, oh, it's like baby food.
Yeah.
Because you've too many vegetables in it.
Particularly something like a potato, which will
It really
fill it
does,
out.
yeah, and it's got that starchiness. So that's the first thing. And like, there's no rules, I suppose. Obviously, you'll want something oniony, so you can have an onion, or you can have a leek.
Yeah, leek is always good for soups.
Leek is a great one because it's not really strong, and your kitchen doesn't smell like onions and sweat. You know what I mean? That's the worst thing with soup.
It is.
Yeah, and that's where the soup makers are great. They don't leave a
They
smell
don't.
of soup in your house. So
I
that's,
woke up on New Year's Day and said I want soup, but I don't want the fuss. So we went to the shop and bought a soup maker.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you went to the shop and bought soup.
No, we went to soup maker. Yeah, 21 minutes.
Love it.
Bish, bash, bosh. The only thing, it frightens the life out of you because it's sitting there, it's like a kettle, so it's boiling away, and then it'll start going.
Oh, so you don't even need to press a button to whiz.
No, you can do it chunky or smooth, and then it goes into keep warm mode, so it goes bloop, and it keeps warm.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and then you can just store it away, and it doesn't make a gallon. It makes enough
Okay.
for 4 of us to have soup.
Lovely. Okay.
Sorry, I've gone off the topic.
No, that's good to know. I'm not going down any more gadgets because I have no more room in my house. Literally, there's no presses anymore. We have a skip.
Oh, did you get a skip?
We got a skip. So I'll be putting stuff in and he'll be taking stuff back out again. I've been driving around with 4 black bags in the back of my car all week going, I need to find one of them clothes banks.
Yeah, it's the dance we do with the skip. You didn't put that in the skip. I'll take that back.
Will we use that? So yeah, no, I'm not getting any more gadgets. But yeah, anyways, back to soup. So you've got your onion, your onion ingredient, which will be your leek or your onion, red or white. A little bit of garlic is always good in there for flavour and so good for us. Then, like, celery is something that we rarely would have. Well, we wouldn't, happen to always have celery in the fridge.
Yeah.
So I'll buy it. I'll only ever use it in soups and bologneses. So you'll always have loads left over that you'll dump. So I now chop it up and freeze it. So that's really handy to just grab a handful of that. Celery, carrots,
butternut squash.
Butternut squash. I did a lovely, and this will be on my page. I have a potato and leek, and a butternut squash, tomato, and red pepper soup, which was really good.
That's
and basil.
really good now, yeah.
They'll both be on my page Monday, tomorrow. What day is today? Monday the 15th.
This is probably going out that day. But
Yeah, exactly. So they'll be on my page, but it's all about the flavours. So adding in, for the vegetable soup, I'll add in lots of frozen herbs, like fresh herbs that I've frozen. Again,
So like thyme,
sage, a little bit of rosemary, and then at the very end, parsley.
Yeah.
Before you blitz it. And then with that, butternut squash. I did another one last year, butternut squash, with like a little bit of curry, garam masala.
chili. We put chili in a soup this week, yeah, because it
was
kind of
really good.
it warms you up as
Yeah,
well as it's
yeah.
double whammy. It's
So
lovely.
it's a bit like your brown bread. You've got your bases, like
Yeah.
you have your stock, and then you have your vegetables, and maybe make sure you have an onion in there somewhere along the way, and whatever else you happen to have. But then add in your flavour, and that's your herbs.
What stock would you use for a vegetable soup?
Vegetable stock, but I actually make if I have a carcass, chicken
Yes.
carcass, I'll make a broth, a bone broth.
Okay.
Because I have the range, but you could also do it in a slow cooker.
Yeah.
So you've got a chicken dinner, you have your carcass, and I know it's gross, and I know people are grossed out by like meat and raw meat.
Bottom
and the-
side of it,
You're like, oh, don't look inside it because it's all brown, and I'm not even going to think about it. But
lots of flavour.
oh my god, it's not even the flavour, it's the benefits. There's so many nutrients in it and vitamins, and because right now everybody seems to be sick and there's so many flus and bugs going, you couldn't have better. So basically you get your carcass and you pop it into your slow cooker, or because I have a range with a low heat cooker, into a big casserole dish. Add in like onions, garlic, carrot, celery, a couple of vegetables for flavour. Top it up with water, lid on, bring it to a simmer, throw it in your oven, or just fire it into your slow cooker. And ideally, if you can, I know it's not ideal, but if you have a slow cooker or you have a range, otherwise 2 hours is fine. But to really get the benefits and all those lovely compounds that come out of it, out of the bones, there's lots of collagen that comes out when it's been cooked for 15 plus hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's the real, like, back in the bloody day where there was nothing, and they used to eat this, like,
The marrow
all
from the bone
the
would come
marrow,
out.
all
Yeah.
that stuff. So you've got, like, collagen is the protein that comes out, and there's vitamins, compounds, loads of nutrients in the bones, but they don't come out unless they've been slow cooked for at least 12, 15 hours plus. So I just threw it in overnight, and then you take it out and you strain it, and there's your stock. So I had it off stock, and because it's quite concentrated, like, and I mean the jelly stock cubes that you will get and that I would kind of use most of the time when I don't have a chicken carcass bloody stewing in the oven for 12 hours, they're so full of salt. So
Yeah.
I've started actually just using half of them.
Yeah, we do the same. Half.
And like they're not really, there's not really anything great in them.
Yeah.
You know, they're kind of pretend stock things.
Okay.
If you look into it, which I have done, I'm like, okay. So I just sometimes just throw in water instead. So I had got enough from that chicken carcass, and like if you wanted, you could take the meat off and have it as in the soup as well.
That's what I was going to say. So if
Yeah,
we
yeah.
wanted to meat up this soup,
Oh yeah, take the chicken off, because there'll be lots of chicken floating about there. Just don't think about it. Take the chicken out and strain it, and then put the chicken back in. Be lovely with noodles. But I had enough from that to make 2 separate soups. the potato and leek and the red pepper, tomato and butternut squash, because it was quite concentrated. I only had maybe 300 ml, but there was so much flavour in it.
Yeah.
You could also bag it and freeze it.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing about soups.
Or
You
just
can do
put
that.
it in your fridge, and if you're making a bolognese, just ladle a spoon in.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good for you. Like, it really is. And I ate that. I had the potato and leek soup at 1:30, and at 7:30 that evening, I was like,
Still full.
I'm still full.
Yeah.
It's the mentalist thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's really
know.
filling. Side note about your bolognese. No, we're not talking about bolognese, but side note about your bolognese. Have you ever put milk in your bolognese?
Yeah, that's what the Italians would traditionally do, yeah.
Yep.
And a rind of parmesan.
Yes. Yeah. So there. Yeah. So, anyway, so that's the stock. So
That's the stock. Otherwise, just buy your chicken stock. I mean, it doesn't make you up or down, but it's just, I suppose, knowledge is power, and it is a really, really good thing to have just in your fridge and throw it into so many different things. If you're making a casserole, just ladle it in.
now with good soup, we need good bread.
Oh, yeah.
So what would you traditionally? Would you go for a nice homemade brown?
Yeah. I had a lovely seedy bread actually on News Talk last week. And the thing with brown bread, it's very basic. It's like a master recipe. So once you have 250 grams of plain flour or self-raising flour, if you're not using baking powder, and 250 grams of wholemeal flour, whether it's coarse or extra coarse, once you have them, then you have about 500 ml of buttermilk, or milk, but preferably buttermilk, and an egg cracked into it.
Okay.
After that, you can add whatever you want, and it's the same. You can add in porridge oats, fistful of porridge oats.
Yeah, good.
Seeds, milled seeds, because I know when I did the seedy one, the kids were like, "Ew, what's that green thing?"
That's snot.
That's snot.
Bogies.
Just for you. It's Halloween bread, but you can actually get milled seeds in a bag. So that's a really sneaky way of getting the seeds in, because seeds are again another thing that we should be eating a handful
Chia.
of seeds every day. Chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, or if you don't like seeds, you can add in raisins. Like, you can really mix it up, and then if you wanted to sweeten it up, you can either put a little castor sugar in. I put like maybe a tablespoon in, or brown sugar, or treacle.
I was going to say that treacle. Yeah.
Treacle, melt it with a good spoon of butter and add that in. But that's the thing with brown bread. People are like, oh, it never works for me. But that's it. You've got your 2 flours, your buttermilk and your egg, and after that add in. And kind of once you know the consistency that it's meant to be, and just don't overbeat it. Because
Okay.
then it's going to go in and it'll be like a cow pat, and it'll just be flat.
Yeah.
So just bring it together and gradually add the buttermilk egg mixture in. Pour it in, mix it with the kind of a stiff hand around the centre, through the side. And all those air pockets in the bottom, or the flour pockets, tend to hide in the bottom.
Yeah.
So kind of push it out of the way and pour the rest in. And once it's just together, into your tin.
Okay. Into the oven.
Into the oven, and bake it. Generally after about 25 minutes, half an hour, the top is golden
Okay.
and cooked. But it needs a remaining 25 minutes. Generally you're looking 55 minutes at maybe 180, 200 degrees fan. But after half an hour, a lot of people will say to me, my crust is always burnt, or when I cut it, my crust breaks. And
Yeah.
that's because the crust it's the highest part.
Yeah.
It's not protected in the tin. So it kind of continues to cook, and get penetrated by the heat. So...
It's a lot of stiff arms and
Keep
penetration.
moving.
Yeah, keep moving. I've been looking out the window.
You see, if I was on a national radio and
Yeah,
said that...
stiff arm and
I'd
penetration.
start-
We're all done.
We're getting very sexual about brown bread.
Is that what we were making? I totally forgot. Go on anyway.
So cover the top with tin foil once the top is how you want it to look. So if you check it after half an hour and go, oh, that looks done, but it's actually not done on the inside, it's just done on the top. So take it out, cover it in tin foil and throw it back in for the last 25 minutes.
Okay, what about if you started your oven a little bit higher, and we'd say for the first 5 minutes, and then turned it down, and then she's giving me the terrier teeth. No, don't do that.
No, don't do that.
The other thing about people's ovens is they're different temperatures in different parts of the oven.
They all vary, and everyone will say, it took me a little extra, or it took me a little bit less time. It really depends on the oven. Some are fan, others are non-fan, so you kind of get the hang of your own oven. But
They're all fans here. They're all fans.
They're all fans. Everyone's a fan. And another top tip: when you take it out, take it out of its tin, tap the bottom of it, and it should sound.
It should sound.
Jesus,
She's on
you've
News
me all
Talk, lads.
paranoid now.
Sound. Stiff arms and top and bottoms. Sorry.
It should sound hollow. When you tap the bottom of it, you'll hear a hollow tap.
I'm tapping my bottom now.
Tap your bottom there, David.
And my head is completely hollow.
Well, we all know that. And then wrap it in a clean tea towel.
You clean.
That you haven't used fabric softener with, or else your bread will taste of Lenore.
Yeah.
And leave it alone. And don't cut it until it's cooled.
Yeah.
So the best way to do it is to make it the night before and leave it wrapped up. And then in the morning, it'll cut perfectly. But you do need a good bread knife.
Okay, can you freeze it?
You can freeze it whole, halved, in slices.
Perfect for freezing.
Yeah.
From the brown bread to a focaccia bread.
So you know.
I'm imagining now, and I don't know. Are we involving rosemary and olive oil?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
So this is like, you know, the way I get into obsessions with things, and
Oh,
I
you
keep
obsessed
trying
about things. And
until
then you just keep going with it. And then a week later, I'll say, "What about that?" And you go, "Get rid of that."
Yeah, no, I'm an expert at that now. I've moved on to something else.
Go on.
Like the creme brulee was one. This is my latest one. So the focaccia. I'm probably saying
Focaccia.
it wrong. Focaccia.
Is it kind of a pizza bread base?
It's like a pizza bread.
Okay.
Exactly. So it's like if a pizza and bread had a baby. So it's actually very easy to make because you just put all the ingredients into a bowl. It's not really a needy one that you need. Pizza will be harder. It's time is what you need. So you're adding your yeast. It's a sourdough. So you're bringing up your dough, you let it rest, and then you proof it, and then you have to fold it. So there's different types of folds. So I suppose it's like when you're folding a towel, and that creates those layers. Then you leave it alone again for another half an hour. So you do that for a little bit, throw it in your fridge overnight, and then you can see all the lovely little bubbles starting.
Yes.
It's like it's alive. Mm-hmm. So then you have to, olive oil is the trick, loads of olive oil. Into your tin, leave it alone, and it'll kind of ooze out, bubble up. And then you can add whatever toppings. So I did sun-dried tomatoes, which
Lovely.
are very easy to
Yeah.
make. You just halve them and cook them on a really low heat in your oven, and
Oh,
they're
wow.
delicious. They're so tasty when you
Okay.
get them out. So I added sun-dried tomatoes and fresh herbs, rosemary, thyme, chili flakes, pepper, and you do the thing with your fingers. So you put your fingers in and it all bubbles
So like
up.
little wells.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fun to make, and it freezes great. So I had loads. I sliced it, froze it, and I had it for like garlic bread.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So
evenings.
it'd be a good bread for dipping in soup as well.
Oh, so good for soup. Really good just to have with olive oil.
Yeah.
Or if you were having like people over for dinner, it's a very impressive bread that's actually quite easy to make. So I'm going to get that recipe up on my page.
Focaccia. We look forward to focaccia.
Olives as well is something people put in it. I'm not
Olives.
a fan.
Neither am I.
Kind of salty, aren't they?
Olives. I was talking about it because an olive looks very like a grape, and you have to be very careful sometimes. You don't put the olive. That grape is off. Or as what my poor dad did once. He was with a friend of his, and they were at a place, and this kind of food came out. Like the fast food came out, and his friend horsed into it, and he said to my father, "Don't go near the chicken nuggets, Tony. They're completely gone off." Yeah. Garlic mushrooms.
Oh, Jesus.
Garlic mushrooms.
There's nothing worse than you put something. Oh, no.
Go on.
I nearly said there's nothing worse than when you put something in your mouth and it's not what you expect. You really bring out the badness in me.
News talk, lads. She said.
I don't know, should we put this out? They'd be like, that one is a liability.
They're
on the
okay. No, from there I want to go to, we're sticking with a kind of a bread, but this one we put in the oven, and I'm talking about Yorkshire puddings.
Yorkshire puds. And this was another obsession that I was like, I have to get it just right. And in fairness, it was a recipe that I found online that had really good reviews. So I said, I'll give this one a go. Yorkshire puds.
Yeah. How do you make a Yorkshire?
So Yorkshire puds
Without
are,
going to Aunt Bessie, how do you get a Yorkshire
I
pud?
tell you won't go to Aunt Bessie after you make your own. It's again, they're on my page, and loads of people have tried them and sent me pictures. And
Because they go different shapes.
It's the excitement of when you take them out and go,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, they've blown up. So it's flour, eggs, and milk.
That's it.
That's it.
How
It's
when
like
you're
100 grams of flour, 4 eggs, and 250 ml of milk, and you just mix it up. The trick is you have your bun tray, like your fairy cake tray, or a muffin tray if you want really big ones, and you put some sunflower oil into the holes.
Yeah.
Just enough to cover the bottom. Because if you put too much in, they won't puff up. It's kind of like a popcorn, I suppose. You put that into the oven that's really, really hot.
Yeah, the hottest it
Get
can be.
that
up
oil
there.
really hot.
Yeah.
And then you take it out and you pour your mixture into your
Yeah.
tin holes, put it back in. Do not open the door.
Oh.
do not open the door, which is really hard when you've got a ceramic door and you can't see in and you're basing
that's
it on
true,
the
yeah.
smell. 25 minutes, and it's just such a wow when you open the door and they're just these big gorgeous Yorkshire puds and they just pop out.
Yeah.
So again, I froze a load of them because I made about 25 of them. So really handy to just pull out of the freezer.
Brilliant. It's
So just
and
call
it
me
goes
Aunt
with,
Bessie.
goes with lots and lots of dinners. And yeah, there's Auntie Sarah, never mind Auntie Bessie. Now I want to go to some questions from some followers.
Yeah, and that Yorkshire pudding recipe is on my page.
Yes, right.
It's yet to fail me.
And
so.
I have to look at my phone for these questions.
Oh, yeah. No, so I had done a question box yesterday. Anything I could help people with, and I will answer some of these on my page as well, but because we're going to the pub tonight, I said we'd get a few out now.
Some of these I can answer, you know. Can you freeze red wine? Yes!
Yes.
Love your page, says somebody there.
It does freeze slushy, so pour it into a Ziploc bag and just spoon it out as you need it.
Yep. Dairy-free lunch ideas, please. Now, I can talk about that because my kids are dairy-free. They don't like cheese and they don't like...
Well, you talk because I can't.
They don't like even bread, so they won't do like a traditional sandwich. Isabel's got better, but they don't put butter or anything like
Really?
that. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
man. Wow.
So for lunches, a pepper cut up, red pepper cut up, a carrot cut up, apple, grapes, crackers, all types of different crackers, and yeah, generally stuff like that. Plenty of vegetables that hold. Even lettuce, and I see a question here about how do you keep your lettuce fresh, which I think has appeared on. This is like episode 64. I think like 61 of the episodes. It's how do you keep your lettuce fresh?
There's always a slice of lemon.
Slice of lemon into the box, and I gave you the one the last time. I think where you just put it in tinfoil.
Yes, and
Put it in tinfoil.
That works with herbs as well, really well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Go into and you got a week later, not a week later, that wouldn't work, but a few days later you got perfect. Put it in tinfoil, put it into your fridge. Dairy-free lunch though, and it is difficult because I know particularly in our house, I say, well, you're hungry because you're not eating a sandwich or you're not having a carbohydrate
bulking
or
up,
a bit of cheese or something like that. You know, you have to eat an awful lot of peppers to be full.
This is it.
So, it is a difficult one, there's no doubt about it. Healthy snacks for kids to munch when they get indoor from school.
Yeah,
13-year-old raiding the biscuits.
That's a problem with a lot of parents, myself included. So some things that are really great to make maybe on a Sunday or at the weekend, just have them there, whether you throw them in the freezer and pull them out throughout the week. Breads. Brown breads are great. And I know that some kids won't eat brown bread, but you just have to kind of go, well, it's the only bread we have and that's all you're having. And you can have it with a bit of jam.
Shite.
Tough shit, that's it. Like
nothing else.
80s style
This
parenting.
isn't a restaurant. Yeah.
Which bread would you like? Scones is another great one because they're kind of in between, like in a kid's head, they're kind of a treat. Because you can have them with like
the raisins, a bit of sweetness in them.
Yeah, with some jam or some honey.
Jam, yeah.
Sausage rolls, always a great one to have sausage rolls. They'd be kind of the popular ones that we'd use because there's a bit of bulking in them that you'll get.
There's always a gap when they come in, so these days what we try and do is have actually the dinner ready for when they come in from school.
Yeah, I do the same.
So that
they don't have that time because like if they do get their hands on something, then they won't eat their dinner. Another handy thing to have is a pancake mix in the fridge.
Yeah,
just
ready
throw
to
on
go.
a pancake and give them an all pancake to get them by. It's literally flour, eggs, and buttermilk. So there's nothing.
You could leave my young fella alone now, and he would eat a full pack of crackers on his own by himself. Crackers, dry crackers, nothing on them, just dry crackers. He'd munch them like crisps. Could you please do a simple, tasty couscous dish to combine with a salad?
Yeah, okay.
Couscous.
So what you could do is you could fry off a little red onion. Now make sure that everything is chopped nice and small because you don't want big chunks of red onion with your couscous or couscous. Couscous. Red onion, some peppers, mixed peppers, chopped nice and small. Red, yellow, orange peppers would be nice. And what else? Some coriander would be lovely, chopped up or garnished at the very end. So fry up your onions, your peppers. You want to do a carrot, but again, everything really small. Fry them up till they get them nicely softened and then add in your cooked couscous. If you wanted to add some spices, you could add in some paprika and some turmeric, and then you could garnish it. Also add garlic when you're frying off the veg, and then at the very end toss that all together with some olive oil, get it nice and slippy, and add in your coriander.
You do this to yourself. I haven't even opened my mouth. I'm looking at the questions here.
add in your coriander at the end. So that would be a nice
Coriander.
Spicy. You hate it.
They call it in Mexico. It's called, I think, cilantro.
Cilantro
Yeah,
is the
cilantro.
American
Right.
way, yeah.
So in Mexico, my brother was telling me. My brother lives in Mexico, and he was telling me. He said, "Jesus Christ, they put cilantro
In everything.
on
It's like our
everything."
parsley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, so I end up in restaurants. Can you please do it? Or he said, the only way out of this, he said, was I told them I'm allergic to cilantro.
Okay, yeah.
So then they have, and they're like, you want more? And he's like, no, I don't want
Yeah,
more.
you don't like it. What happened? What did coriander ever do to the collies?
We had a bad moment.
Coriander
Tell you
soup.
about that in the pub afterwards. Coriander soup.
So yeah, that'd be really nice, and get that in a big bowl and let people help themselves.
What is the difference, if any, between blend and fold?
Okay, so to blend something will be to mix it, and it doesn't matter if you mix the crap out of it,
Right.
because it's just to mix it together like you would with a smoothie, like a pancake mixture would be blended together. A folding is much more gentle.
Okay.
You're trying to keep the air in. So if you're making, say, chocolate brownies and you've mixed the eggs with the sugar into this big fluffy mixture and you're folding in the flour, you don't want to lose that air. So generally what they'll say is a Mary Berry trick is, use your spatula, go around and through the centre.
Yeah.
Around, keep doing that, and just very gently. And once it's just all together like your brown bread, stop.
Okay.
Otherwise you're going to lose the
Don't
air.
overdo it, yeah. And what's the difference then between whisk and beat? I know the answer.
Difficulty.
Don't whisk it.
You can beat it.
Always beat.
Well, you'll be
I'm
beating out till
sorry.
the cows come home. This is going in the wrong direction altogether.
We should go to the pub and then come back and finish this. Whisk and beat. Whisk. Can I do
I
whisk?
prefer to whisk, and David prefers to beat.
Beat would be with a wooden spoon, which is what happened to us in the
Yeah.
80s. I'll give you a beat. I'll give you a late show. So yeah, that would be beat, wouldn't it? So if you were got mashed potatoes and you wanted them smooth, you'd beat them.
Yeah, I don't know. But like what? Whisk. You'd whisk egg
Whisk
eggs to
egg
make
whites.
scrambled
Yeah.
eggs.
You wouldn't
But-
beat your egg whites.
No, I wouldn't. Unless they did something awful to me.
Somebody here is blowing smoke up the proverbials, and they're dead right. We'd love to see you on an evening TV show. Well, she'll be on the news fairly soon.
I might be on the news.
For whisking and beating. You're excellent at what you do, and a love and a graw for cooking. Well, that is true.
Well, that would be lovely. I'd love to get on an evening TV show. So hopefully the evening TV show people are listening.
It's on
and
the
you can give me a
contract, though.
call.
It's in the contract. She has to bring her special brother-in-law with her. Who keeps shouting, "No, Mike, you prick!"
It's all your fault I'm not on telly, David.
It'll be my fault. It'll
she's
be my.
related to that fella now.
You'll
Keep
be the
her off.
reason. You'll be the reason
Yeah.
it'll be on the telly. We're talking about, and I've skipped. There's too many of these, and we're trying to get through it. But there's one they're talking about roasting tins.
Yeah. Oh, the enamel roasters.
Yes.
So I was making a chicken during the week, and I have my old-fashioned granny enamel oval roaster.
Yeah,
so
we've
basically
one
these
too, yeah.
are a lidded roaster. They're enamel and they're self-based, so it
Yes.
means you don't have to keep going in there and throwing.
And you
the
get great
sauce.
gravy off it.
Great gravy, and the meat is so tender.
Yes.
Great for a roast of beef or a chicken. Now, a lot of people came back to me when I said it's not something you'd see, and a lot of people said actually that they saw them in TK Maxx. Some said
Somebody's in
Lidl,
Aldi,
others
yeah.
said Tesco's.
Yeah.
I got ours in Patrick Fahey's in Castlebar. Kind of any of those kind of Homer stores, the old-fashioned ones. I haven't seen them in like Home Store or more.
So just to describe Fahey's shop, because we go in there all the
It's a
time.
great
So you get
shop.
everything. It's a great shop. You get everything from a picture of our Lord
Yeah.
to a rat trap to the latest gadget for doing something for you. It's just got everything,
Everything.
in there. We got a thing for putting your feet on, and it was like €40. It's just the best shop in the world.
Feet on.
Like a
To
little-
make you taller, is it? You can put your feet on it and nobody knows that you're only
Oh, she's
5
woke
foot.
up. She's woke up now. But you know, we bought the enamel tin, and actually, when I brought it home, I put it up on my Twitter, the picture of the tin, of the box, because I don't know what they were cooking in it, but it was certainly like legs. And there was something else coming out of it.
Oh, probably
It didn't
really
look
badly
appetizing.
superimposed,
Yeah,
like.
didn't look. And we have a large one of those too, which when I see it coming out, it's a bastard to clean.
Yeah. No, do you know how to clean
Small
them?
one's easy. Go on.
Once you've taken your roast out and you've emptied it, fill it with water and put it back in the hob. And that lifts all the sticky ombits.
And would you put in some, like a lot of people put in a dishwasher
Yeah,
tablet?
dishwasher tablet or squirt fairy.
A squirt of fairy.
Yeah, they're great job.
Great job. So yeah, somebody was wondering there about the glass roasters with the lid. Do they do
Yeah.
the same as the enamel ones?
The reason they're not as good is because the enamel one, you get the sticky bits from your roast. It will stick to the enamel, and you can put that enamel directly back onto your gas hob, whereas with the glass one you can't.
Yeah.
And it doesn't tend to get the sticky bits as much.
I can never get a roast beef right. Which cut is best, and what's best temperature, and any time tips? This is a difficult one. The roast is a fairly difficult one.
Well, yeah, I mean, it starts off really with you got to get a good butcher with a good piece of meat. So
go on. We'll never get through this.
Shit, David, what have you done to me? Oh, the bold Sarah's coming out. I like my piece of meat.
Right.
Anyways, you want to get, preferably if you can get a roast on the bone, because anything on the bone is obviously going to be much juicier. I am seriously talking about a roast of beef here, and you're making me laugh. So if you can get your roast of beef on the bone, brilliant. Silver side is good. Rib roast. Rib roast on the bone. They are pricey, but they're very delicious. And adding the flavour, lots of vegetables in there underneath it. Carrots, onions, garlic, celery, herbs, rosemary, lots of salt and pepper. Seal the meat first. So
yes, that's what I was going to say. Into a pan. Hot pan. Brown it off.
Brown it off. So keep moving it around until all the red meat has just gone brown. You're only sealing the outer side of it. Also, if you can marinate it in a bag overnight or in a bowl with some olive oil and garlic and herbs like rosemary overnight, that's really going to add to the flavour. Seal it onto your bed of veg. Good glug of olive oil, and put your lid on or your tin foil on top. And just roast it away. Keep an eye on it. Take the tin foil off at the very end to just crisp up.
Let it rest.
Yeah. And
then
the gravy,
when you finish it, let it rest.
Take the roast out, let it rest, and while it's resting, make your gravy. So you're just adding in a spoon of flour in on top of all those vegetables and juices. Mix it well, add in some beef stock, and strain it. Yeah. And that's your delicious gravy that you would drink. So good.
How do you slow cook it without a slow cooker? Good question.
Well, you just have to use a low heat oven, preferably non-fan, because the fan does tend to dry out a little bit. So it's not ideal because you don't want to have a fan oven or an oven on for a very long period of time. I suppose it's not cost effective. So really the best thing to do is get yourself a slow cooker. I think they're about 30 quid.
Yeah, they are.
They're a great
They're
job.
a great job,
yeah,
honestly.
They really are brilliant.
Yeah, it's, I've often told you on this podcast, we put the ham on and leave it in it. It's just delicious. Hi, Sarah. I find when I freeze fresh herbs, they're soggy.
Yeah.
And it says very nice to deal with after it. Maybe not very nice.
Not very nice to deal with. I'd say she may have, or he may have, or they may have, if I'm being politically correct.
Well saved.
I'm a bit friggin' late now saving things. I'd say they may have washed them first. And I know, you should wash your herbs, but they're not going to kill us. I don't wash mine. So with the softer leaf herbs like parsley, coriander, basil, those nice soft leaves, chop them up and just put them into a Ziploc bag. They're not going to be ideal to garnish a salad, but they're ideal to add into things like soups and stocks or sauces that they're going to be going into a liquid. You know, you're not going to garnish bolognese with frozen basil because it's going to be all soggy, but it's perfect to add to a sauce or whatever. And then the woodier ones like thyme or rosemary, just freeze the whole thing whole, and then once it's frozen, ruffle up the bag and the leaves will actually fall off the stalks, and you dispose of the stalks and you have your leaves then.
We had a bag of frozen thyme in the freezer for a while, and it wasn't sealed right, and when we just tried it out, the thyme ended up absolutely everywhere.
No.
I got an oval enamel roaster in Aldi months ago, €13. I saw them back in Aldi again a few months later. Said
a couple of people said that. So yeah.
Air fryer, Sarah, is it worth getting one? Family of 6.
I think people kind of know where I stand with the air fryers. Number one, I'm a bit wigged out with them just from the Teflon coating. I suppose that will be a New Year's resolution, but something that I've been trying to veer away is things that have toxic coatings like Teflon. So I've bought, a couple of non-toxic pans. I'm trying to go more silicone. Plastic chopping boards are quite dangerous because the plastic can end up in your food. I've got a mattress that is natural fibres. Just little things like that. So I have just kind of seen a few things
natural
online.
Natural fibres? What kind of stuff with horse hair?
There's a horse.
It's a horse.
It's a horse.
We just stuffed a horse.
I shaved the horses and I shoved the hair into a pillowcase.
I have a great photograph here of one of my dogs from many, many years ago. And I said, look at the dog there. That's just after Sarah gave him the haircut. Has a poor tail.
With the horse. with the horse clippers. So the air fryers, I just enjoy cooking so much also. Like, it's a bit like the soup maker. I love the process because I have the time, and not everybody has the time, and I appreciate that. So yeah, it doesn't really do it for me.
To play devil's advocate, I think, yes, go out and get one.
Yeah.
They're fabulous.
People love them. People love them.
Yeah, no, but some people say to me, somebody did a chicken in one. I wouldn't be for that.
Once and it wasn't good.
No, but for things like
Ready things,
sausages,
like garlic bread, Dermot makes sausages in it all
7 minutes, 8 minutes and you don't have to twist them or turn them or nothing.
Yeah, people rave about them, and there's so many different types and double basket ones. I just love cooking too much, and I'm very lucky that it's my job that I can do that. But I get it if somebody's out the door at 9 and not until 6, and they've a full load of people to feed and homework to do.
Yeah,
perfect.
Healthy treat to have with a cuppa that doesn't have a banana base. Healthy treats
that doesn't have a banana base.
It doesn't have a banana base.
Do you know, I was in doing my shop this week and we were very surprised. I used my Yuka app.
Yes.
I was in the biscuit aisle and I was like, I'm going to see now, is there any sort of a healthy biscuit? And even the Rich Tree got like 18 out of 100. Really bad. Everyone was horrified with that, because I think we've all done the whole, I'm going to have a Rich Tea instead of a Hobnob. And then we discovered, and somebody messaged me and said, oh, that's a big thing in slimming world. It's like Rich Teas are not healthy.
They're not.
No, they're not.
Great.
There's a lot of saturated fat in them.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's where all my followers were like, I shared it, and they were like, I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it. There was no biscuits that were any good in the biscuit aisle, so my advice is just have the bar of chocolate, don't overdo it, and enjoy it.
And the most important thing is just to enjoy. When you do have one of those things, is don't just horse it into you. Enjoy it.
You'd
Take
eat
your
the
time.
whole packet of Rich Tea and you'd still wouldn't be satisfied. Whereas if you just had a Twix, you'd be like, I've had a treat, now I'm grand.
Now, okay, let's get through these quickly. Somebody says gravy video, but we've talked about the gravy, haven't we? We talked about all sorts of gravy already. How would you shallow fry? How do you dispose of the oil? I mean, in our house, it's left to me. And the one thing we do know about the oil is do not
put it down your sink.
Particularly if you have a grease pot or if you have a septic tank.
Yeah.
If you're not, do not put it down the sink. Yeah. It's a disaster.
Well, even if they don't have a grease pot or a septic tank and they're in town, it's still really,
it's not great.
It can do serious damage to your drains. So what I do is I put kitchen paper in on top once it's cooled.
Yep.
Let that soak it up and then pop it in the bin. Or there's actually, the Mayo County Council have a grease disposal over across the road here at Moaning, so you can go in, so you can pour it once it's cool, obviously pour it into like a milk carton or a carton, and bring it into them and they can dispose of it. Or that's it. The main thing really is just don't do it. Don't put it on the sink. Let it cool before you do anything with it as well.
Finally for now, hi Sarah, can I get scones ready the night before to put them in the oven early the next morning?
Yeah, you can make them up, pop them on a tray and do your egg wash, cover them in cling film lightly into your fridge, and then pop them straight into your preheated oven.
Great.
You can also freeze them raw or cooked.
Keep those questions coming to Sarah's
that was good.
Instagram. Yeah, we get the next time we do a podcast, we'll get through as many of those. Other business, as we like to say. I have written here sore knees. Tell us about the sore. Are they better?
Oh, stop! They're still very they're just getting there now. So it was the most mortification of my life. I was doing a job.
I was talking to you literally about a couple of 2 hours after it had happened to you.
Did I send you pictures of them?
No, you did not.
God,
you know I'd shared them straight on the web.
What was Sarah doing on
go
her knees?
Here you go, news talk.
I know I had to be careful who I showed my bruised knees to.
There's people who pay money for that, you know.
I know. Get myself in trouble. That was a week later.
Ow.
Yeah. So basically I was working, doing a job in a supermarket, and you know me, I don't walk, I run everywhere.
100 miles an hour.
And I went from one area which was quite grippy, and I had just done a cookery demo and I had shoes on that had no grip. I now know why people in kitchens wear special shoes and have special surfaces. So I was flying around and I came off a grippy area onto a supermarket floor and had a piece of spinach stuck to my shoe, and literally I don't even know how I did so much damage to my knees. I don't even know how I fell.
I'm trying to think, how did
I fall? And I was holding a spray bottle. I had a really big bruise here, random bruises where the spray bottle ricocheted off my body. I ran out, slipped, and I remember the moment of, I was at the self-service, the quick checkout. You know where people go to get cigarettes and a negative vodka and also check out their 3 items. That's where I fell. There was gasps. People went, oh my God, is she okay? I couldn't get up off the floor because it was so sore. Luckily there was a lady with me and I was like, help me up.
Oh no.
So I got up and of course I was like, yeah, no, I'm fine. Oh no, I'm fine. And I was like, oh my God, I never wanted to cry with pain so much. I remember thinking, I still have 2 hours work to do. I'm not going to be able to walk. And then the manager came down and was like, oh my God, are you okay?
It's on the security camera. Somebody has it. Please, in that shop, share it with us now.
I'd say they had the best evening laughing at my fall. That's all that was bothering me, was they're going to go in now and see me.
Oh, that's exactly what they did.
On my
Exactly
knees.
what they did. On your knees, yeah.
So, yeah.
You're all right if we fell in your hole.
Exactly. On my knees. So yeah, I had very sore knees, and they're only coming right now. I'd say, I don't know, can you fracture a kneecap? Because it was my 2 knees.
Yeah, I've periods of my knees now. Yes, those
So
days when I was
embarrassing.
so healthy, and now I'm just so
So
broken.
embarrassing.
We were talking before we started our podcast today. We are talking about our love of sleep, and my sleep gets very interrupted these days. I could wake up like 17 times because my mind could be full of something. If a robin farted on a hedge outside, I'm like, "What's that?
Yeah.
Who's farting outside?" So I seem to get a better sleep if I go for like a nap. But you were telling me about this thing that you're doing, which is a sleep mask. What's a sleep?
I'm a very light sleeper, and I think we should absolutely all have individual beds.
Oh yeah, so do I.
Actually, in individual rooms would be
Individual
even more
houses.
bonus. That'd
Two
be
houses
great.
beside each other.
So I'm very light sleeper, anyways. Like if the kids cough, I'm awake.
Yeah,
If there's like a mooch outside, there could be a fox out there.
that's it. It's the same as that.
I'm like wide awake.
I woke up during the week. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and I was like, "What's that?" The heat was on.
Oh my God.
I could hear the heat
Yeah.
on, and I was, "Who put the heat on at 3 o'clock in the morning?" But it was one of the cats that changed the clock.
The cat.
She goes up on the radiator, and the clock is above it,
Shit.
and she's scrapping along it, and then she moved the clock.
Our robot Hoover took off one night at like 4 o'clock in the morning and nearly gave me the biggest heart attack. Robot. Anyway,
Sleep mask.
So I got to sleep. So your normal sleep masks, it's like a little eye mask and an elastic that goes around your head. This is like silk, really soft, and it doesn't have the elastic. It actually velcros around your head in a really wide band. So like they're saying there's loads of benefits, like it stops wrinkles and all that jazz. But I just wanted something that
I
was...
did notice. I said she's very wrinkle free.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she's very wrinkly.
No, very wrinkly.
Fire my phone across at you. Well, I don't know how. I've only worn it twice. So on both nights, I woke up and it wasn't on my head. It was on the floor or it was at the bottom of the bed, and I was like, I don't know if this thing is any good. But anyways, I went to bed this afternoon just to do some work in my bed because I was frozen with cold. So I had a hot blanket, a hot water bottle on
lovely.
my feet, and the hot blanket on in my bed.
God.
Oh, I was so
All right, there,
cold.
Granny.
No, we had stood at Ballinrobe Racecourse for about 2
for
hours at a
rugby,
rugby
yeah.
blitz, and I wore Converse, and they were soaking, and it was so
Oh,
cold.
it's the worst.
Could
Feet get
not.
cold, it's all over.
Oh, I just said, don't even talk to me. I just need an hour to lie down. Anyways, I put this thing on my head, set my alarm for an hour, was completely convinced that I hadn't gone to sleep, but the alarm went off.
Yeah.
So it cancelled the noise because it covered my ears. Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant.
And I had a lovely sleep and woke up delighted with life.
I have more stuff here now, but we're gone over time, so I have
We're
stuff.
going to have to come back next
Yeah,
week.
well, we're not going to have to talk about, because there's other things that are happening, big occasions that are happening over the next few months as well, which you'll have to cover, and we will do so. But I have a quick fire.
Oh, have
Look,
you?
she's one leg ready to go out the doors of the pub, but there's a quick fire here. We're not finished yet. And actually, I did one, a new, fresh one.
Oh, cool.
I've probably asked these.
Well, I suppose I gave you a bit more notice. I didn't text you
did,
until
yeah,
last
yeah.
night.
She
Last
did,
night.
yeah.
It's normally 10 minutes before.
Mohawk or mullet for the rest of your life?
Mullet, I suppose.
Oh, would you?
Well, a mohawk, like. That's the one that sticks up.
Yeah,
You like a punk?
Yeah.
Well, at least a mullet, you could plait it.
yeah. I'd go for mohawk.
Would you?
Yeah. So a
With
shot.
Joe Quinn with the mohawk.
Wouldn't I? Yeah.
Look at him, he thinks he's great.
Nearly turning 50. That
The
fella, he
mullets
looks
are
50.
cat, though. I saw a kid with one today, and I mean, honest to God, the parents. Like,
Joe said to me, he said, what was your hair like? And I said, oh, well, mullets was in when I was young. And he said, really? Have you got a photograph in the black and white dinosaur times?
would
I
you
said,
let him get a mullet?
I'd let him do whatever he wants. If he wants to put colour in his hair, if he wants to do it, let him do
A
whatever they want.
mullet, anything but a mullet.
If you went into a shop
Yeah.
and they gave you too much change, would you give it back or take it home?
I'd Depends how much they gave me back. It
Depends on the shop.
It actually happened to me recently, and I gave it back. I would now, but probably when I was younger, I wouldn't. I'd have taken it, and I probably have taken it and gone off.
Batman or Superman? You're either Batman or Superman, or Batwoman or Superwoman. Sorry,
But I
or
am, well, I am Superwoman.
and Super
we all
Day.
know
That's true.
I think Superwoman's Batwoman. Batwoman. What's the difference? Can they both fly?
Well, one can fly because of who they are. The other one has to fly. They make things to help them fly.
Oh, Spider-Man. Oh no, what? But Batman is the guy in the black.
Yes.
Can he fly? No, he has a car. He can't fly.
He can kind of glide. But
Are you sure?
Yeah, because he made the yokes. He's just a normal person.
Oh, he's got the cool car, David.
Yeah, he's got the cool
and
car.
he's got the guy that drives him.
Yeah, but Superman is
Superman
is
can
super.
fly.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'll be Superman.
How does Spider-Man come
But
into it?
Superman, because you said they've got things to help them fly, and then I just remembered the spider thing.
Spider-Man, yeah.
He'd be cool. But Batman is cooler than Superman.
Oh, he
Superman's
is.
a bit of a
He's a
swat
dork.
with his leotard.
Yeah. 4'5" or 7'7".
Definitely 4'5", because being 5'10", I know how hard it is to get trousers to fit me.
5'10" in her heels.
Excuse me, I'm 6 foot in my heels. What are you in your heels?
You have to cook. Oh, this is a good question, actually. You have to cook everything from now on in either an air fryer or a microwave.
Probably an air fryer, because there's different variations. There's like roast and air fry, whereas microwave, it's just microwave.
Just microwave. And you have to wear winter clothes or summer clothes all year round.
Winter clothes, 100%.
Yeah.
Give me big polo jumpers, chunky jumpers.
In the height of summer, not a problem. That's a quick fire quiz.
That was a very good one.
It was good, wasn't it? I'm very proud of myself for doing it.
I might just come back a little sooner next time, David.
We'll wait and see about that. Now, we're off to the pub.
Yep.
Keep following Sarah on Instagram. Keep listening to her on News Talk Radio, Mondays, 12:30, the lunchtime show, talking all sorts of stuff. See if she actually says whip something and starts laughing.
You'll be listening to me going, that is not the same person that does the podcast. This is the professional version. This is the what's the word I'm looking for?
The professional.
No, this version here today. It's
That's the real,
uncensored
this
version.
is the real you.
Yeah.
And if you want the professional version of me,
Yeah.
you get me on the radio every morning, 7 o'clock.
You get David on Midwest when you're getting your breakfast.
And you're getting your breakfast in the middle there.
You play great music, I have to say. Now you're good at the old music for Monday motivation.
Yeah.
Or midweek slumps. You'll pull out some good ones.
I do.
There.
I actually put a lot of thought into that.
Yeah.
I usedn't, but I
no,
do now.
You do. I've been under pressure going, oh, okay, I needed that song.
A great one. As a guy sent me a clip yesterday. He was in his car as I was finishing my show, and he just took a video. So I'm on the radio, and he took the video and he sent it to me of me saying, I think I said, have a fabulous Friday and have a great weekend. I'll talk to you Monday, right? Yeah. And he sent me that clip, and he said, I just sent this to my daughter who lives in Belgium, and she sent me back this, and the note came back to say, I have nightmares every time I hear that music. Because obviously a lot of people associate it with school. Yeah. They hear my voice or they hear that music and they go, oh, that's when I was late for school.
Yeah.
It's like a Glen Rowe moment.
Totally. If David's over, you're late.
Yes.
You have to be in the car.
You're in trouble. Yeah. So you can, and of course you can email sarahbutler@home@gmail.com. Aha.
Sinead.
And we'll talk to you
when we talk to you. Very soon.
Might do it in an hour's time for the pub.
Bye.
Bye.